What's up, everyone? This is BA here. Welcome for another MTG Car vlog video. That's what I'm gonna call this. Yeah, just waiting for work right now. So on my last video, there's a guy commented it, and he has a great question. His name is Philip Robbins, and he was asking about what are your thoughts about artist proofs, and what about alpha cards? I'm gonna include the beta, unlimited as well, and the older sets, Arabian Nights and stuff. And it would be interesting to hear like what do you think about like the overvalue, undervalue cards in 2020. So yeah, great question. Thanks, Philip. Yeah, thank you for watching the video. And yeah, so artist proofs, what do I think? I'm not really exposed in that category of Magic, but one thing I can say in artist proof is I had an experience in seeing one of Black Lotus artist proofs, and it was like probably 7 out of 30. I can't remember, 7 out of 50, and it was really cool to see the art itself. It looks good, and the collectability of it is I think it's much higher than we think, because obviously, I mean, unless you want to play the card, I think artist proofs are more of like art itself. It's just in a smaller, it's like an actual card. But I think especially the power ones, the old cards, and then the like, it depends on the artist, and especially I guess if it's signed cards, I would say yeah, go ahead. I think it's a great way to collect artist proofs, and in the long run I think it's gonna appreciate in value just like any other paintings. But yeah, if it's signed, I'd say like go for it. If you can have it signed by the famous artists right now. My favorite, I mean, I have like favorite artists like John Avon. I think everyone likes John Avon with his lands. Ron Spencer. There's like plenty. And then, what are your thoughts about ABU cards and then the older cards? Well, for me, that's number one, undervalue. Definitely undervalue, even in today's market. Magic's only been 25, 27, less than 30 years, and the older cards especially, whether it's graded, played, I think we can start on like the base, revised, like dual lands, right? I think they will appreciate in value more later on, probably in the next 5-10 years span, just because like there's probably going to be another format, and if they're going to be more playable like now in today's Commander, I think they're going to keep going up. I don't see them going down. Like all the reserve list, that's like one category. If it's a reserve list, playability in any eternal formats, and then like the print run is obviously lower than the new standards, new cards, modern cards. I don't know if you guys heard the format 93-94. I do have a deck, and I mean that's like a good format in playing the very nostalgic cards of Magic. Juice Omnigin, the Power 9, Lightning Bolts, Serendipity Freaks. I mean, if you're in those kind of stuff, I think that format will grow more later on down the road, because right now it's all about like Godzilla, now double masters, a lot of full art showcase, very fancy stuff. And it's kind of taking away of like the older ones, like alpha, beta, like just looking at my alpha land world, so like that thing is like, that kind of just reminds me of the OG Magic, how it's played, how it's, I don't know, it's just, it's, the time is different for sure, but I think the older cards will appreciate more in value in the long run. And then the collectability as well. Like if I were to build, like, any standard commander and stuff like that, full arts, foils, showcase, stuff like that that's like awesome. But like beta, alpha lands, oh my god, it's just classic. If you're an old schooler, oh man, I'd rather just play those basic lands. They're just amazing. The art, the the collectability, the nostalgic factor of it, we can't compare it, And then now we go to the overvalued, undervalued cards in today's market. So one thing I look in the market right now is I think number one is playability. Because like when Commander just started, I remember buying Gaia's Cradle for I think $30 from Star City Games, and it was like back in, I want to say Lorwyn, when they just like say, oh yeah, EDH 100 cards, and actually built a Rise, the Redeem Elf deck. Yeah, and then it's so funny, like I bought all those cards for cheap, and then if you look now, they're like so expensive, just because of that one format. And then obviously the format just kind of like skyrocketed and just grew from there. But that's like what, 10-12 years ago, and in the next 5-10 years, there's probably going to be another, like, some format, and those cards that you're probably not using, it's just like in your binder or commons and commons, one of those cards will just kind of like, oh yeah, this card combos with that card, there's a bunch of them, and I'm not saying like just keep all your cards and don't sell any, but there's a bunch of undervalued cards today, whether it's like old cards, new cards. There's definitely a lot of them, but who knows which one's gonna be the one, but right now, as of right now, the undervalued cards, in my opinion, are still gonna be any reserve list playable. Look at Gilded Drake, look at Gaia's Cradle, Mox Diamond. They're like going up right now. They're already played a lot. Like what, a year, 2 years ago, CEDH, EDH, but now it's just a big boom of demand for it, because it's the year of Commander, and they already told us this last year. But yeah, Gaia's Cradle, those for me are, I think, has still room to grow, but they're like already like capping out, because as they get older and older, there are gonna be more cards printed that's kind of like the same, and it might take over some of those cards. But for me, the staples, especially the reserve list ones, I think there's still room to grow. They're very undervalued. And then we talk about the old cards. Library of Alexandria, Power Nines, Juzam the Jin. Wait, if you own one, wait 5, just keep it. I'll probably not sell, any of those, because the print run's very low. I mean, they're good cards. They're very nostalgic into like anybody, like and talk about now, the Godzilla and why Ikoria's gonna age well, very very well. It's because of the unique factor of it. It captures a lot of customers. Good commander cards, good, unique, Godzilla theme, and the foilings, the lands included. So I mean, if you guys want to invest in Ikoria collectors, I mean, I think there's a possibility that it might be the best, probably the best as of now. They're like what, 250, 280 right now. So that's gonna be easy. It's gonna be 300 at least. So yeah. If the card's unique, it has a nostalgic, reserve list. Yeah, definitely it's undervalued in today's market. And lastly, the overvalued cards. I want to say, like, the playables, yes, for sure, but the non-reserve list, and let's say Cyclonic Rifts, very high playable in Commander. I mean, they're like 40 now. It's not reserve list. They're gonna reprint more of them now. Like, you bought 10, 20 of them like a year ago. They're like 10, 15 bucks. Then you pretty much made your money, on that. But yeah, those cards, they're high playable, but they're not non-reserve list. They're gonna be going down as they reprint more of them, but it's gonna take a while. That's my thing, because the demand is still there, but over time they're not reserve list, and they're just gonna keep going down as they reprint more. Now the other ones that have, let's say, they're playable, they're like Grim Tutor, and then Ugin. I mean, prime example, Tarmogoyf, right? I remember Future Sight Tarmogoyf, they were like, 50 bucks or something like that, and then they skyrocketed to like 200, because that's like the only printing, right? And then they reprinted it to like into oblivion, and now even the Future Sight ones is like capping into like 70, 80, range, like below 100. So it's very high playable, but over time, it's just gonna keep depreciating in value, because I mean, the only format that's really played is like maybe Legacy, but for the most part it's just Modern. Not even, because once they keep printing like really good cards, they might just take that spot. Like Fiend Artisan is really good card right now. There's really good 2 drops, and so yeah, I think that's a good example, Tarmogoyf, and there's plenty more, but all I can say is the cards that are non-reserve list but high, high demand, over time they're gonna go down. But the cards that are like overvalued, non-reserve list, and it's just in like that niche, one area, yeah, they're just gonna go down. Like, I want to make another video later on about collectors booster on Core 2021. My quick advice is like, you could probably buy one just to open one, but don't like just go hard and just buy 10, 20. It's ridiculous. It's like 220 right now, 240. that set's gonna go down, you know. So I'll probably just wait, you know. Maybe if it's like under 200, under 180, I think you can get your, you know, value there. But like don't pay over 200, you know. So that's just another that's for another video. But yeah, so yeah, good video. Thank you, Philip Robbins. So if you guys have any other questions, yeah, go ahead and I'll give you a shout out and then make a video of it, you know. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you guys next time for another MTG Car Vlog video. So yeah, here's BA. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.